And we're live. Today I have the honor of interviewing Supreme Cerebral, an impressive MC with an incredible discography. He's been releasing album after album. He's worked with the who's who within hip hop. We're gonna bring him in and talk to him about his impressive career, what it's like rocking shows, what it's like having all of this productivity coming out. He has a new album dropping this Friday. We're gonna talk to him about this new work. Let's bring him in. Salute!
Peace.
My brother, thank you so much for jumping on the Cristopolis show. Man, I had the hardest time trying to find something to look fresh because I was like, this brother could dress and he's got a collection. I got to come correct. This ain't an average. He knows what's going to. I had to go with a vintage.
Yeah, that's fly right there. I see you.
Appreciate that.
You already know.
My brother, what you got going on?
Little bit, you know what I mean? Little
yeah.
Piece, you know?
Yeah, that's dope.
It's a Wednesday, you know?
Not bad, right, not bad for a Wednesday. My brother, it is an honor to have you on the show. You've been releasing such an impressive stream of classic material. Sometimes when people are releasing album after album in this era of this golden renaissance of hip hop that we're in right now, sometimes, the material may have just a few songs on it, but you've got classic album after classic album, and you got a new album dropping this Friday. Talk to us about the new joint that's coming.
Yeah, we pushed it actually back to the 15th because my brother Clipto, who makes beats, he has his compilation coming out Friday.
Okay.
So we moved it a week back, just because I didn't want both of us to have the same release date. I want him to get his shine.
Yeah.
That's my, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the brother that you really blew up with early on, that you guys were working together and coming out with all your early material.
Yeah, so I met him through my man Banish. My man Banish Habitual. Banish one day was like, bro, you gotta mess with this kid. Like, he don't fuck with nobody, and he's got your kind of beats. And I'm like, what kind of beats does he make? He was like, loops. And I'm like, I don't want another loop producer, you know? Because like, these guys don't really know how to do it. So when I finally got in contact with him, he sent me some beats. I was like, oh, he's really that guy, you know? And now he's crafted it so well, and he's so good at it, you know what I mean? And then my progression as well. So it's dope to see the maturation process with both of us. But the album Gold Pyramids comes out the 15th with my group Royal Council, which is me, Oda Great, and Alphabetic. Oda Great and Alphabetic are from Portchester, Westchester County, New York.
Okay.
And those are my brothers. I've known them probably the longest out of any of these rap dudes that I fuck with.
Yeah.
Because my ex shorty used to live in a neighborhood.
Oh, get out. Okay.
So that's how I met them. This was like 2011 when I met them. Yeah. Maybe 2010, something like that. Alpha, I mean, they call him Munch back in the hood, Munch and shit. He came out to this bar we was at, and, he introduced himself, all that shit. And then he was like, yo, my man is really the spitter. My man O is really the spitter. He's like, I produce and do all this other shit. And I'm like, okay, word. So O had came over to the bar too.
Yeah.
He was outside, and this is in New York, Westchester. I'm like, rap.
Yeah.
He started rapping.
Give me a hot 16.
He started rapping, and I'm like, there's no way people don't know who you are. Like,
wow.
This is crazy. You know what I mean? And then Alpha had rap for me, and I was like, yo, bro, like, y'all don't need me.
Yeah. But they do. You're Supreme Cerebral.
But they wanted, like, I had already made a tiny name for myself, so they were like, I was like, look, we just do a couple songs together, and it'll take off, right?
Yeah.
So years later, now we're here, right? And O had rhymed on all these Alphabetic beats, and Alpha was like, I'm gonna rhyme on all of them. He was like, you want to rhyme on all of them? And I was like, damn. I was working on what was I working on? I think I was working on Emperor's Deity.
Yeah.
The Vinyl Villain album. So I was like, bro, I'm in the middle of writing this. Like, I don't really want to deter my writing, you know what I mean? Because I was kind of focused on that album. And I was like, fuck it, just send them to me. So I gradually was penning them.
Yeah.
But I wasn't taking it too, this is the bad part. I wasn't taking it too serious, and these guys were taking this shit fucking serious. So when you hear the album, there's a couple songs I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have read this.
Spend a little bit more time with the verse.
I wish I would have took it more serious, you know what I mean? Because they took it super serious. So I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? But the album is incredible, man. It's all us three only. There's no features.
Yeah.
Alphabet, the whole album. There's no outside features. This is all just in-house. And yeah, man, I'm excited. It's a boom bap album. It ain't a Supreme Cerebral album. It's
dope.
Like hardcore, just boom bap album, like straight rap album. There's no catchy hooks. There's none of that. It's rap shit. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
There's hooks on every song, but they're rap hooks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? O did all the hooks. He's first on like every track because he set it off.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like me and Alpha was looking at each other like he should go first on every song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's you know, you really got to be rhyming to go first on every song.
Yeah.
So he's rapping crazy on that album. And yeah, man, it's just those are people I love, bro. Like we went through a lot of fighting and bickering and all kind of creative differences because we're all like brothers. We've known each other.
Yeah.
We were fighting. Like I ain't talked to O for like a week. I ain't talked to Alpha for like 2 weeks. Like we was beefing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you there's passion in the project.
So, but you see, the outside world never seen none of that. That was just us, you know what I mean? Because we are like brothers, you know. That's why we started the group Royal Council.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? And it took us a minute to make a name.
Yeah.
Like we was arguing. We was arguing over everything. You know what I mean? Because we all have different personalities and we're all different creatives.
Yeah.
You know, trying to come together like that is hard because like me and Kush, like our maturation process is fluid. Like it's natural. Like we don't Kush kind of lets me take the lead, so I'm able to just go in, you know what I mean, and do my with them, they want to, you know, they're used to taking the leads on their own things, and you know, I wasn't able to kind of like do what I wanted, which, you know, in my own
you're a solo artist. You have such a presence on the mic. You're so established. You know how you want to do it.
Right, and I know how to put albums together. Like I will say that's one thing I pride myself on is that I'm pretty good at putting albums together. So I wanted their input as far as the order goes. I wanted their input. So that's why we had problems, you know, because I'm like, started with this. Like, we should do this. Like, this should be the, you know, and they're like, nah, this should be it. And then I'm like, yo, man, you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So we had a lot of big.
Yeah, because that's an art. The way the album flows, that's a whole art.
Right. But I think through all the trials and tribulations that we went through as brothers to make this album, I think that people are gonna, if they pay attention to it, I think a lot of people get lost. Like, who the fuck is Royal Council?
Yeah.
Then it's me, Alpha, and O. You know what I mean? So I think once people catch on and they actually listen to the album, they're gonna be like, damn, this is nice.
That's dope.
It's definitely not a Supreme Cerebral album. It's totally different than the things that I would do.
Yeah.
Even beats that we're rhyming on, like Alpha makes a certain type of beat. You know what I mean? Yeah. His sound is his own style. So all those beats are his sound. You know, and they're all kind of cohesive. You know what I mean? Very cohesive style beats. So yeah, it's dope, man. I'm excited about it. We've been sitting on it. We had it last year. We didn't get the mastering done in time for Copenhagen to release it, and that's how Loose Change 2 came about.
Got it.
So Loose Change 2 was supposed to come out this year.
Oh.
So there's a lot of songs that didn't get included in Loose Change 2 that I wanted to include, like the new one, Represent, and a couple of other joints that I had, you know what I mean? The Murder at Popeyes with Recognize Real. Yeah. We've had that since 2019 or 2020 when we made Gold Chain Warrior.
Wow. So
we have a couple of songs just sitting there. So he looked at me, he goes, Preem, let's just release one. I got another one with him, Intergalactic Conspiracy.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, that's the name of the song. With my man Journey into Zion and Mon's Army. These are two cats that are from around the way, like Pomona area.
Yeah.
Just dudes that I've been fucking with in the scene, you know, while I'm out in, you know, in California shit. So yeah, we got a dope ass song that Rec produced that I'm gonna drop probably in the next couple weeks or something like that. You know what I mean? I got so much material.
Yeah, man.
Like,
that's what I was gonna say. So, what is your, like, artistically? What's your philosophy? What's your perspective on singles versus albums? Because you do both, right? You release albums, conceptual albums with dope work, working with big, within the underground scene, big labels like Copenhagen Crates, and it's basically like a who's who. You're dropping vinyl, CDs, merch for every release. But then you're also going to drop onesies too, right? So how do you, what is your philosophy for the modern era independent artists, how you're doing it, right? What is your approach?
You just really got to be consistent. Like, I think the attention span is so minute nowadays that if you aren't one of the top guys where people are just waiting for you to drop, like a Rock Marciano, West Side Gun type of individual, then you have to consistently be on these playlists. You have to consistently be in the ears of people, and you got to keep your name alive. See, one thing I love is people always come to me and be like, "Damn, bro, like how the fuck you do that? Like, how you put out so much material and shit?" And I'm like, number one, I have an in-house studio. So all I got to do is load up my software and start rapping. Like, everything's already pre-ready for me to just rhyme. I'm not mixing and mastering anything. I have people that do that. So I'm just recording myself. So, like, I have a regular job and shit too. So, like, lunch breaks or free time or whatever I have, I just started doing this too, because I was like a big fan of not writing in your phone.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to lose.
What would you do? Keep it in your head or paper?
I paper.
Yeah.
I paper it. Like, I have stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and books and books and books of rhymes. So, like, I was always against writing it in the phone, right? Because I'm like, what if my phone disappears or the satellites go out? I can't read these raps no more.
Yeah.
But then I started penning shit while I was at work and shit, and like out and about, you know what I mean? And I'll just write shit. Boom. You know what I mean? I'll just start writing shit. And it's become pretty easy for me now to have a bunch of ideas in my phone. And then I'm able to come home and just write raps.
Put it together.
Yeah. So I did a song with Ill Conscious where we wrote together in the same room. And
that's dope.
And he had a book. It was the 72 Lakers song that Dirt Diggs produced.
Okay.
We wrote it at Diggs' house when he was in California. But yeah, he had like a book, right? But he had a bunch of ideas in his book.
That's
like
cool.
Bad lines and different things. So I'm like, okay. And then it made me be like, okay, now I know why he's such an alien.
He's so nice with it.
Yeah,
he's collecting ideas the whole time.
Yeah, he's such an alien.
Yeah.
You got to be able to piece things together and make it make sense. Don't get me wrong. Like, just having lines written out doesn't make you the dopest.
Yeah,
but
nobody's questioning the genius that you have, that Ilkan has, right? There's a genius involved. But what is the artist doing, right? What are some of the secrets?
Yeah, no, he's way different. He's from another planet. He's the Anunnaki, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm the Sumerian. He's the Anunnaki. Yeah, like, but then I was like, okay, I need to start doing that more.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because I do have a lot of ideas that I think of that I don't write down, or I'm not thinking I should put this in my phone or nothing like that. So when I started making a conscious effort to put lines in there, shit started getting a little different, right? And I was like, oh. Because when you're sitting there writing, you got to remember too, like, thoughts have to come to you.
Yeah.
So that's a lot harder than having thoughts written down, and then that creates more ideas. When you're read something, it'll create even more ideas. If you're able to hear something, it'll create even more ideas. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to raps a lot. Like, I listen to old Nas shit, Coogee rap. Chino XL type shit. Like, and then when I'm riding around and shit, and then I'll come home and write raps.
Yeah.
Because it'll give me so many ideas, and you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I like how he did that. I could word something similar to that. I
Yeah.
could do something. You know what I mean? And that's just, you know, like that's the culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many different incredible rappers that
Yeah.
you could take stuff from and you can learn from. And I do that. I try to do that as much as possible. I think the older I'm getting to, the more life experiences I have. My raps are just starting to become way more fluid. You know what I mean? It's the writing process is even so much easier now. Like 30 minutes a verse, maybe even less.
Wow.
Some of that shit that I'm saying, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking about?
Yeah.
I don't listen to my shit. This is like, I'll listen to it when I record it or when I get the mix back.
Yeah.
And then I'll never revisit that song. Like,
yeah.
Songs just get lost for me, like, until I have to go back and memorize shit
for a
shows
show.
or something like
Oh yeah, you're putting together a show and you're
But
like, I need this. The level at which you have to know a rap to perform it in front of a lot of stuff happening it's got to be a muscle memory. So you got to know that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to be in tune with it. You know, like you have to. I think the more you do something too, the more you become comfortable with it, and the more I think risk you take with it, because you're like, oh, I can do whatever I want. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can rhyme this word with this word. It don't even rhyme, but I can make it rhymes. You know what I mean? Like, you could just do so much with this shit now, and there's no structure now because we're independent artists. There's nobody telling us what we have to do. Nobody's sitting there looking at you like, you got to make this fucking radio hit or we're not going to blow. Your album's not going to pop. You know what I mean? Like, you could do a 1 minute song where you just rap for fucking 1 minute straight. And then song. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore. You know, people just want to hear shit. They want to see your creativity. You know what I mean? And with certain MCs, I know people are looking like, oh, I want to see what he's going to say. Like, he's got.
I want to see how he's gonna do
it. He's always says weird, crazy shit. You know what I mean? And my mind is just wild. Like, I've always been a thinker and shit. Like, my mom tells a story, and I've always been an aggressive human. My mom always tells a story because I was born late and I was only 5 pounds.
Oh wow!
So they've had to put the oxygen mask on me, right?
Yeah.
My mom said as soon as my body went pink instead of blue, she said I got mad and started trying to throw the oxygen tank off me, like angry.
A fighter.
Yeah, and then my dad looked at my mom and said, oh shit, we got one. Got one. He gonna be different. You know what I mean? And I think I've been like that since I was a little kid. I've always been a little different. I've always been like, I'm a big dude too. I'm 6'5", 250. So like, I'm human, and I've always been aggressive, right?
Yeah.
But I've always been a thinker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've made plenty of mistakes in my life where I'm like, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
And you know, it's usually drunk-induced things that have gotten me in trouble.
That I know all about the alcohol for sure.
And so, like, a lot of times I'm not in my right state of mind when I do dumb shit, and I've been in trouble for dumb shit, you know? So, yeah, but normally, you know, I'm a thinker, so I always analyze things, you know? I'm heavy. But when it comes to street shit and action, like, I'm just ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have really no filter when it comes to that type of shit. Like, I feel like you want to do something, I'm going to swing on you.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how I am, and people know me for that type of shit. So, you know, not too many people, you know, try to get involved with it. You know what I mean?
But at 6'5", 250, that already right there is a deterrent.
I'm gonna be trying to act bullyish or act out of my character or do anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you gotta remember too, people will perceive you as something that you're not.
Yeah.
Because they know you. You know what I mean?
That's true. Absolutely.
All you gotta do with me is get to know me. And if I get to you and I know that your intentions are not anything out of the ordinary, I bet you'll end up being friends with me. It's not hard. You know? My exterior, I always have like I can't see. Like, people don't understand. I'm fucking blind and I don't wear my glasses, right? So I have to squint to look at things. And a lot of people
think you're grilling them. People think you're grilling them.
It looks like I'm ice grilling the shit out of people. You know what I mean? And a lot of times I'm trying to look. You know, and I'd be looking at shoes and like different things, but like people would be like, damn, this big motherfucker staring at me. Like that. like a lot of things is it gets misconstrued. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's perception. People perceive you one way and don't really understand you as a human. You know what I mean?
Dope. Yeah, that's cool, man. And you're giving us so many gems. Tell us a little bit about your background, because you grew up in the LA area, but you're over on the East Coast often, right? You got family out in New
Yeah.
York. What's, tell us about your background and coming up.
Family, friends. I was out there when I was little. I've been in California so long now. I'm a Californian, even though people don't perceive me as a Californian because I dress different. I wear Tim, I wear Wallies. I'm a hip kid though. This is what I try to tell people, because they be like, "You act East Coast," and I'm like, bro, I'm a hip hop baby.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a hip hop kid.
And hip hop's from New York, so I guess you could say, my whole demeanor, whole style, whole way of thinking, whole way of rapping, way of speaking is New York influenced. And I would tell you it's 100% New York influence. East Coast influence, Philly, different shit, you know what I mean? Jersey, because I wear the New Balances, and that's like a Baltimore thing, and a Jersey thing, like New Brunswick, you know what I mean? Like, so I do it all, I'm a student to the culture, man. I love this shit. And I guess I've never been a Dodgers fan, so I won't wear an LA hat.
Yeah.
I've always been a Yankees fan. I don't wear Chuck Taylors because they're uncomfortable.
Yeah, and and no disrespect to anybody, but I don't think they look good. They're not fly.
I think they look good with a West Coast outfit, like Dickies and I think that's
I can see that. Exactly.
Like a LA gangster look is a certain look, and I think that's fly. Like, to me, that's fly. Even the essays with the Cortez and the high socks and like the
Cortez are dope.
The long Dickies and the Ben Davises and shit, like that's a certain style. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just a fan of style. So like I don't care however you dress. You know what I mean? Like, but I look at things and I'm like, oh, that's fly. Cause Cortez's, man, I'm like, oh, them shits is fly.
Yeah, they're dope. They're dope. Are you telling me? See, I'm getting an education out here now. Like, 'cause I've been in LA for a little bit over a year, but I'm from DC, so I'm from the East Coast. But I'm over here in the Arts District. I'm right here at the 6th Street Bridge, so I'm over in Ball Heights every day. I'm over in East Los every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm getting an education on fashion, on how brothers dress out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope, and it's crazy to me how, a lot like New York, how LA changes so much from one neighborhood to the next. It's wildly different.
Yeah, and the big difference is you can't just be going into certain neighborhoods in LA. Like in New York, you can actually get around. Like you might get fucked with, I guess, if you're doing too much. But like for the part, you could walk through the P's and you be straight. Like you know somebody, as long as you're a cordial human being, you know what I mean? I go see my cousin in Bushwick houses, and like Friday, Saturday night, there's 40 motherfuckers in the lobby.
They're outside.
They don't know who I am. I'm a big motherfucker too. Everybody look ice grilling, like, I can hear them. What the fuck is this? Me, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Hey, peace, bro. Peace, brother. Peace. Excuse me. Get right through. Then they just looking at each other like, fuck it. He ain't, and you got to be respectful.
That's right.
Peace, God. How are you? Peace. You know what I mean? It's, for me, like my brother Kush always says, it's peace before anything.
Yeah.
So it's always peace, and then if you want to go the other direction, we can go the other direction. But my first words to you most likely are going to be peace.
Yeah.
Peace, my G. You know what I mean? Like, and it just, people hear that and they're like, okay, it's not confrontation. Tell someone peace.
That's right. No, that's good, man.
But I've been out here so long now. You know what I mean? I live in Santa Ana, bro. Like, I know that
that's the neighborhood.
I know the Chicano culture real well. You know what I mean? I close Chicano friends like Paisas and Vatos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, bro, it's completely different. Like, my love for everything is in New York. Like, when I go back to New York, like, it's home. That's why I always bring people from out here, out there, and we just have fun, man. Like, people know how I move. Like, I'm outside. You know what I mean? I'm always outside. I'm always doing things. I'm always trying to attend things. When I'm in New York, I'm super outside.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of friends and people that do things, people that work in clubs, you know, people that work in the strippy, like it's all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So
that's dope, man.
We all have crazy fun when we out there. Like I spend way too much money when I'm in New York.
Absolutely, like, it's easy to do that.
Like I told Alphabetic, I said it's $40 to come outside every day.
Period.
It's $40. You're gonna need it for something.
Oh, and with inflation,
you're gonna need $40 a day to live in New York. Like that shit is crazy. You know what I mean? I guess if you lived out there, you bought groceries, it'd be a lot easier to feed yourself and a lot cheaper. But still, like
that's like,
and then you're gonna
that's like the life tax. But you just walk outside, it's gonna happen.
You're gonna be in this small ass little thing for fucking $2,500, $3,000 a month. You know what I mean? Like it's just wild. You know what I mean? I would love to go back there and move back there, but nah, man.
LA needs you, bro.
It's too.
LA needs you.
Well, and it's just too nice out here. Like today's a rainy day. Like I get to put a little jacket on or something. But like that's the part I miss most, and that's why I always go back in the wintertime. Like people always ask me, why you always coming when it's cold out here? And I'm like, bro, because
we don't get cold.
I don't get cold. We got to go all the way to the mountains.
Yeah.
Like Baldy area and, you know, way up in the mountains and shit. Cleveland forest for us to see snow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It don't snow where we're at. It just doesn't, you know what I mean?
It's too beautiful. So, but don't let the palm trees fool you.
It's 70 degrees usually, right? Like most days, 70 degrees, man. Like, you know, like in a month, it's going to be warm again. Like our winter is done. We didn't even get a winter this year.
I know.
Like,
I know. No, it's really dope.
It was last year was snowing and going crazy. Like, and this year, nope. That Mother Nature was like, nah, you guys are good.
Yeah.
You know
I mean? So in addition to like your work, you know, as an MC, you love hip hop culture, you know, and you also dabble in graffiti. Can you talk to us about your love for graffiti and that area of your life? Yeah, man.
I've been fucking with that forever. I got a lot of graph friends, a lot. Like I'm not really active anymore, just because I don't really have time to go.
You dropping too many albums. You got album after album coming.
Yeah, and I'm always going out and doing things, you know. And then I got a job, and then you know you got girls and other things that like occupy your time. So I haven't really done it in a while. I actually almost bought a sketchbook the other day. So my graph name is Rugby.
Yeah, it's a dope name.
RUG, you know, -B, Rugby. And it's, you know, Buzzy. Yeah. You know, like, so yeah, like, I love graph, man. Graph writers are some of the most incredible artists, I think.
Yeah.
I think the precision and the creativity that goes into certain style of graphing is Picasso-like.
Yeah.
Like, truly, I believe that. And I don't think it gets enough credit. Like people like you know, right over there by Crypto, the big buildings they got
the
tagged
graffiti towers.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. Like people don't understand that. It's so many different styles. So many people went and risked their situations to go do that.
Yeah.
Things like that, that's for the culture. You're doing it for the culture. Yeah. Like people are just as important as DJs, MCs, breakdancers, you know, fashion icons. It's all intermingled. You know what I mean? Like you have to love each element to call yourself a real hip hop kid.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, I like rap. How many DJ friends you know? Like how many rap friends do you have? Like how many breakdancer friends do you have? How many people have clothes do you have? Like, you know, like how many producers do you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's so many different things, you know, that create this culture, and people get rap misconstrued with hip hop.
Yeah.
That's one facet of hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To call yourself, say you love the culture, you love hip hop, you gotta be involved in it all. And graph to me is such an art. It's like breakdancing, man. Everything is such an intricate art. Like you can't just come off the street and actually DJ. Right. You wouldn't know how to blend. You don't know how to transition. You don't know how to do anything. You're gonna look at that panel of buttons and be like, well, what the fuck do I do?
Right.
You can't come off the street and just start popping.
Right.
doing a robot, incorporating it into the new styles that they have in it. Like, you can't just come up. It takes years of practice and watching people and emulating people. You know what I mean? Trying to create your own style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That takes so long for you because at first you have to try to emulate people and you have to try to develop a style, right? And then when you get your style, you have to harness your style and make it better. You know what I mean?
Good.
Like, and a lot of people reach a certain plateau and then their creativity starts to filter.
That's good.
Because you get so much notoriety. I don't know how that feels, but I can only imagine getting so much notoriety and everything just being so coveted.
Yeah.
You're not gonna take it as serious.
Yeah.
And that's those certain artists, you see them and their shit declines. Like, you can just hear it, you know.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's not rapping like he used to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's not a hunger there. He's not pushing boundaries. No. And you got to be careful as an artist, whatever the craft, right? Whether it's dance, art, rhyme, to not get like pigeonholed, right? It's like, this is what he does.
Right.
It's like, nah, I'm gonna do whatever I feel like doing.
Yeah, like they try to pigeonhole Miles Davis and put him in a box, and he told them, he was like, you can't put me in no damn box, man. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do. Like, you call me this kind of artist, because I'll fuck around and do something you never heard. You know? And that's true with any artist, man. Like, and see, I don't have a problem with trap artists and the new style shit. I have absolutely no problem with that. I have no problem with understanding why Drake is the #1 artist. Like, that type of shit does not, like, I get it.
Yeah.
If you understand music, you get it, right? He appeals to the female audience more than anyone.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the #1 consumer of music.
Yeah.
Is female. Females buy the most music. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not males. A lot of people probably think it is males. No, females buy the most music. They might be buying it on Apple Music or iTunes or something like that, but they're buying the music. You know what I mean?
And if the girls are there, the guys are gonna show up.
Oh, then that intensifies men being like, because all it takes is for one guy to be like, bro, the last show I went to, there was nothing.
Young, I was there. It was just me.
Like, word, nothing but girls there. Every guy you know who's gonna go with you next time. Like, oh shit, I got this for myself. You know what I mean? That just it just brings more and more people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And guys want to be like him now because they see what he could do to the females.
Yeah.
See, it's all a game, right? It's an image. It's everything. You know what I mean? Like, he's so famous now, like, he can do whatever he wants. That's why he does that goofy shit with the way he dresses. He does that weird shit.
It don't matter.
He's like, let me see if they'll talk about me.
Keep them talking.
Keep talking. I'm not dropping music right now. Keep them talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear a 95 FUBU shirt. Fuck it. What are they gonna say? Oh, he's wearing FUBU. Okay.
Yeah.
Then guys are like, oh, I want to get a 95 FUBU. You know, like, it's
right. Sold out. It's all sold out.
The whole thing. Hey, bitches don't care what he dressed like. They're like, that's like that's Drake.
Yeah.
Like, shit, what he does. Like, you know,
don't care what he does.
Already infatuated.
That's right.
What he does. You know what I mean? And certain people, but you got to understand that. Like, I don't make that kind of music. I don't sing. I make gangster music. I make hardcore. Like, I make music that
you
like
make super lyrical music.
Yeah, that like kids in other countries that are in poor areas listen to my music and be like, yo, we ride out to your shit. And I'm like, don't stab people on to my music. Like, please. God damn it.
But that brings a good question, right? Just personally, you know, as a creator, we're influenced by, you know, a lot of things, music, movies, real life experience. But when you're chilling, who are some of the artists that you listen to that you like listen to them and you're like, this dude, you know, and it could be outside of hip hop too, right? That are just dope artists that you're like, yeah, this actually makes me feel good. I really appreciate what they're doing.
Most of it is old stuff. I rarely listen to new stuff. Like, I'll check a couple of MCs that I really fuck with. I check Ill Conscious stuff. I check Elo stuff, all the Elo stuff that he does. Everything Ralphie Reese does, I always check. He always sends me everything in advance anyways. Jamil Honesty.
Yeah.
I always check.
Baltimore's got a special scene going on.
Yeah, I always check his shit. My brother Born Unique.
Yep.
You know, just some of my peoples that I really fuck with. You know, I always listen to the new Asia shit. You know,
Yeah.
gotta do that. He's the general.
Yeah.
You know, all the chain dudes, Piff. You know, Bernie.
Yep.
You know, Stylistic Jones. Everybody. You know, I always check this shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Riding around, like, it's usually old MCs, like, you know, 90s MCs.
Yeah.
Boot Camp Click. Yeah, Crooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
You know, from Biggie to Chino XL to Fuji Rap to Pun to, you know, all the real rappers, you know, that I grew up loving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm noticing a lot of like multi-syllabic rhyme within rhyme rappers are coming up in artists that you mentioned.
Yeah,
like super intricate rhyming.
Yeah, AZ's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I like people that actually push the pen. Because, you know, shit, I got shit to say and talk about. And
yeah.
And they give me ideas, you know, like I'm like, oh shit, why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, not in a biter way either. I don't want people.
No. In an appreciation of the art, of the craft.
I'm like, oh shit, I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I listen to shit like that. I listen to a lot of old soul music too. And I went to go see my nephew in Wyoming.
Yeah,
which is a wild place.
Is it?
It's a different world completely. But I got into some old ass like outlaw country music.
Oh, they're probably talking mad. They got guns. They're riding around with them.
Some of that shit is racist, but some of that shit is like drunk music, like wild cowboy shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I like I've been to a couple rodeos. Like I like cowboy shit. My mom's from Texas.
Yeah.
I feel like if I would have been born in Texas and raised in Texas, I would be like the Mexican OT type of rapper.
Yeah.
Hats and like all that. Because I was always into like when I was younger, I used to ride horses. I used to go to a camp every year.
Yeah.
And I used to ride horses, and I was real good at horse riding.
Right.
Horseback. So I've always had. I think that's where my love for polo comes from too.
That's interesting.
It's my love of horses. Pause. But like my love for you know, those animals. It's been there since I was a little boy. I have pictures of dressed like an outlaw.
That's dope.
And like on horses when I was little, like on ponies and shit. And my mom said you would always dress up with the belt, with the guns, and she's like, that was you. You'd always wear your cowboy hat and shit. She was like, that was you when you were little. Like you like that type of stuff.
Yeah. You
know, and I got some. Her uncles were big cowboys from Texas.
Wow.
Like 8, 6'9". Like
wow.
Grandmother is the run of the litter. My grandmother's like 5'5", 5'6" maybe.
Wow.
And all her brothers are like 6'6" and up. Right?
Wow.
So and they're all cowboys. Like that whole generation on my mom's side is like rugged cowboys.
Yeah, and that's a real specific culture that's very hardworking, strong, hard, masculine often. It's like it's tough.
And then my grandfather is from Oklahoma.
Wow.
And his mother is an like a Native American woman. Like I forget what tribe it is, but like there's a lot of that in my blood as well.
Yeah, I've driven through Oklahoma down into Texas from the Midwest, and I didn't know they smoke so much weed. I didn't know Oklahoma was producing cannabis like that. And two, the amount of territory that is different tribal lands that you're kind of going through. You're up in the mountains, and you're on. Yep. It's another nation. You're in a nation that's a tribal nation.
Yeah, and that's like the point right after that where it stops. All the tribes stop because you get to the East Coast, there's no tribes.
Yeah,
it's all like that Middle America and up in the Northwest. So like North Dakota, South Dakota, they all have reservations. Idaho has a huge reservation. Montana has a huge reservation. Wyoming has a huge reservation. Yeah, but you know, it's their land that they just
Bro, that's a whole other conversation for
yeah, it's
sure.
their land that was stolen, that was told, now, okay, you get
Yeah,
this much. We'll give you this. We'll give you this.
exactly.
But yeah, yeah, man, that's it. My family is real diverse. So like I always wanted to be like a hardcore, you know. I swear to God, yo, I think like my former life, I probably threw an axe, like a double-bladed
Yeah,
axe somewhere, you know, something crazy. I always think about that, you know what I mean? Because I could grow a really nice beard,
yeah.
you know, and you got to think they used to grow beards back in the day, big thick beards, the Vikings and everybody, because it softens the blow by 40%.
Oh wow.
So there's science behind that. That's why they won't let boxers have big beards.
Got it. I
So
didn't know that.
there's a science behind all that. So they used to grow their beards, obviously,
In battle, so it looks intimidating.
So if you look,
but
it's
actually a protection.
If you look at any of the old generals, leaders, big beards in their statues.
Wow.
Had to, because let's say you're in a sword fight, the swords get knocked, the guy swings on you, bow, hits you in the jaw, it softens the blow by 40%. Wow. So you're knocked out, your jaw's not going to crack, you know what I mean? And now you could still fight, you know what I mean? Having your jaw broken, spewing blood, and now he swords you in the back, you're dead, it's over.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's necessary. It was necessary to have the beard.
Very necessary, yeah. And I could grow one. Like, I don't even try. I just started growing beards. You know what I mean? I used to not even like how it looked, but
it's in vogue right now.
Yeah,
having the strong beard.
Yeah, I kind of just like you know the feel of it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't even try, my bro. I got too much Indian blood, so it's like any joint is all patchy. You know what I'm saying? I just keep it.
So my father, Glenn Bradley, who died, rest in peace. On my mom's side, from the man from Oklahoma, smoothest skin, never a beard, not even scalp, just the smoothest skin. You know what I mean? But he had all that Native American blood in him.
Yeah,
it was just smooth sailing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now I get that from my mom's side, Mayan blood. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna look right. So I just keep it smooth. I wanted to ask you about your live show. You know, in addition to having a massive catalog and releasing album after album, I think you've got 4 or 5 albums scheduled for this year. You, in addition to that, regularly rock shows. Talk to us about what it's like to go to a Supreme Cerebral performance, and what you got coming up in regards to performances, and where you'd want to rock that you haven't rocked yet.
Coming to see me live, you're gonna be like, wow, he's rapping his ass off. Wow. And you know, I got a big voice, so and I'm you know, I go in. I'm not a stand there and walk back and forth type of guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm you know, I'm on. You know what I mean? You get a lot of energy. I'm gonna be ruining some of my polos, sweating in it. You know what I mean? But shit, I love performing. That's probably my, besides writing, that's probably my second favorite thing to do. Wow. As far as rap, you know what I mean? I love performing. That's so much fun. I don't have any shows lined right now. I've been talking to a couple people, but yeah, man, it's hard to get shows where I'm at because a couple of the promoters don't really fuck with me for personal reasons. Like I've had arguments with dudes before and shit. And they're trying to do the pay to play shit, and I'm like, bro, that's your job. Like, I'm not I don't sell tickets, my guy. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Right.
I'm here to rap. Like, I'm not here to work for you. Yeah. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. First of all, you're not paying me, and now you want me to sell tickets? Like, that's crazy. Yeah. So I won't do that, so I don't get a lot of the big shows out here. Which is fine, you know, like occasionally people, I get more shows in San Diego than I do out here. Yeah. Because they fuck with me way more out there than they do out here, because the promoters out there aren't like driven off of money, you know, they're driven off culture. They want a good show. which makes for better shows out there.
Absolutely.
Than there is out here. Because you go see like a dope MC out here and the openers, you're like, why the fuck would you even put him on this bill?
Yeah, but because they paid.
He's doing trap music at a Jizza show.
Right.
Like this shit doesn't make any sense, bro. Like you got to make it make sense. You know what I mean? Or they got a Chicano style rapper at the Jizza show, and you're like,
they don't go.
You makes sense. He would be better at a Little King G, something like that. He'd be Little Rob. He'd be way better at that. The people would love him way more too.
Yeah.
You know, get a way better response. Like I just feel like these guys don't know how to piece together shows correctly.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you had anybody from the underground and you brought them to LA, like a no-brainer, I should be an opener.
Absolutely.
So it's no-brainer. Catalog alone, numbers alone, everything. But there's a lot of dudes too that are bigger, that don't really fuck with me either for relationships they have with people I don't really fuck with.
Yeah.
Which is, you know what I mean? Like everything is relationships in this shit.
Yeah.
So my relationships with a lot of people that are making a lot of moves aren't the greatest. So it's hard for me to get shows. You know, I get more shows, like I said, other places than I do out here. More demand in other places.
Have you had a chance to perform in Europe?
No, not perform. I've been out there, I haven't performed. I want to. I was supposed to go with Ill Conscious. They went out there like right now.
Yeah, they're out there now.
He had asked.
You crushing Europe, bro. I think he's crushing Europe.
Yeah, he had asked. Oh, I know I would kill that shit. So I'm supposed to do Japan. Here, because I have a good relationship with Buddha Monk. And I'm trying to take Ill with me, Ill Conscious with me. So
he did an album for you, right? Buddha Monk produced an album.
Yeah,
for you.
He did. And that album's great. I wrote that album in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that shit really, really fast. I had a lot of free time when he sent me those beats, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go in.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And yeah, man, it was dope doing that shit with him. Japan is definitely a place I want to go to perform. Kush and John Robinson did shows out there, and Kush is like Preem. There's nothing like it, bro. So I've been in talks with them for a minute now. We just got to get the logistics right for everything. Most likely that's going to happen at the end of the year. Sometimes towards the end of this year, we're going to go out to Japan and probably do like 10 shows they were talking about.
Yeah.
Talked about Japan and shit. So
yeah, I mean, once you're out there, you know what I'm saying? Make it work. Yeah, make it worth it.
Buddha Monk also said that. He goes, Preem, once they realize you're here, more shit will come.
Yeah.
Oh, he's here? Oh, he's already in our country? Okay, cool. Like now, let's book him. You know what I mean? While he's here. So yeah, man, there's a lot in the works with that. I've worked with a lot of Japanese producers.
Yeah.
Through knowing Buddha Monk, you know what I mean? And I remember Kush like, do the album with Buddha Monk. How come you ain't did the album with Buddha Monk? You should do the album with Buddha Monk.
Yeah.
How come you do the album with Buddha Monk? You should fuck with Buddha Monk. And I'm like, hey, keep hearing him in my ear, like, you should fuck with Buddha Monk. You should do that album with Buddha Monk. And I was like, one day I was just like, oh, let me hear him, bro.
Let's do this.
Yeah, and then he sent the beats and I knocked him out immediately. Got that album done fast. And then I did the artwork for that album too.
That's dope.
Yeah. It's got the samurai on it and everything with the scroll behind it and everything. Yeah, I did that artwork. I did that one. I did La Sita Sanjata, Gaddafi, Gold Chain Warrior. I've done all those arts.
Wow. So you actually did the art. You did the art itself, and then what is that? You send it to a graphic designer and they put it into the right format?
No, I do graphic design. So yeah, it's just me just altering stuff to make it look crazy. Yeah. I've been doing it now for like 10 years. So I'm good at it. You know, I know how to blend, I know how to do everything, shade, everything like so. But I rarely fuck with it. Like occasionally I'll get bored and I won't want to write. So I'll just start doing Photoshop shit like late at night. I'm a night owl. So like between the hours of like 12 and 4 in the morning are kind of like my most creative times.
Oh, interesting. I think that people would be interested to hear about your creative process, right? So, you know, you're talking about that you're a night owl, but what's it also like for you, like when you write? You know what I'm saying? You just put the beat on loop and you start writing. You know, we talked earlier about how you've picked up this really creative habit of writing down ideas and things, concepts, and having that now so that when you go to write, you know, you could kind of, it's almost like a verbal Pinterest board or something like that, where you can start plucking ideas and stir your creativity. But tell us a little bit about where you write, what that's like. It's probably not always the same, but most artists have a creative place. What's that for you?
Mine is my bedroom where my desk is. So I have my desk inside of my bedroom, and that's where I've written since I've been in this apartment. Every album has been in the same exact spot, written in the same exact spot.
Wow.
Creatively, I listen to beats in the car. Like let's say I gotta go somewhere that's kind of a distance, maybe 30 minutes or something like that. Or let's say I go below trees and ride. I'll just listen to beats.
Yeah.
Whatever people send me. I want to hear it in the car because I want to hear it loud. On the phone, sometimes I've heard beats on the phone and be like, that shit sucks. Heard it in the car and I was like,
you hear that low end.
This shit knocks. You hear the bass thing, and then you actually realize, oh damn, this is really, really nice. But yeah, I ride around, I'll listen to beats. I mean, within the first couple of seconds of the beat, I'll know if I like it.
Yeah.
If I stick with it while I'm riding around and I keep just repeating it, I'll know that I want to write to that.
Yeah.
And then I'll write the name of the beat down in my phone, and then I'll revisit it when I get home. So I do that a lot, just riding around.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people send me beats, man. So I do listen to everything. Honestly,
that's dope. Is that something that you welcome? You like receiving beats and you like checking out new producers?
Of course.
What's the right way for producers to come across this to send you beats if they want the chance of working with you?
You just okay, number one is don't be this guy. And every rapper that has a name will tell you this. Do not be this guy. The guy with 100 followers, 200 followers, 300 followers. And then you hit me like, yeah, you should be rhyming on my beats. But,
yo, I'm gonna bless you.
First of all, you got to think about it like this. You don't have a name for yourself. Me rapping on your beat is only going to do one thing. It's going to give you notoriety. It's going to do nothing for me.
Right.
I gain nothing out of this situation. So people like that, I always tell them, I don't rap for free.
That's good.
Now, let's say you're a guy, 3,000 followers. I check and see who you fuck with. Oh, he fucks with this dude. I look at your IG. Who does he may have songs with? Okay. Oh, that beat's kind of fire. Okay. I'm more receptive.
Yeah.
Oh, send me a pack.
You've been working, right? You've been in the game.
I'm telling you guys, any MC this. The guy who gets into your DMs and acts entitled are the worst kind of motherfucking people, bro. You're never gonna get your beats rhymed on.
Yeah.
The fucker's gonna rhyme on your beats, bro. None of the good people are gonna rhyme on your beats. Come correct. Hey, bro, I got a small budget. You think you can flow something on my shit, bro?
Yeah.
Like, I can shoot you $100. See, and that's some people get insulted by that. Me, I won't get insulted by that. I'll be like, okay, he's trying to get himself involved.
He's trying to create his career. And he's acknowledging that you're established.
And I can appreciate that. I get it. Like, not everybody has $500 to give you for a verse. I completely understand that because that's my rate, 500. But I completely understand that. I also am a person who is like, shit, I was there once.
Yeah.
So I'm receptive to people that are actually, I would say, they're diligent in the ways that they move.
Yeah, it's good.
So if you move correctly, then I can appreciate you and I'll fuck with you. And then you get an opportunity, where it's like in some cases, dudes just send me beats for years, man. I remember I did that album with Free Mind, the Soul Glow album. He was sending me beats for years. And then I finally was like, I was bored one day. Like, let me check this motherfucker's beats out. Listen to it, I was like, oh damn, I've been sleeping on this shit. Yeah. But I also am like, oh, he's gotten a lot better over the years.
Right.
So it took him a while for me to be like, okay, now I like this beat, I'll fuck with this beat. And then we made a great album together, you know what I mean? And that's one of my favorites, you know what I mean? So I like doing small EPs like that. I like working with people. A lot of times if I'm focused like on one producer, I won't mess with outside material.
Yeah.
Because you want to kind of write cohesively.
Yeah. You're creating a vibe. It's like almost like method acting. That's what actors do, right? That's who they are until the filming is over. And you're in a zone doing this project.
Certain albums I take real serious. Soul Train I took extremely serious. Gaddafi I took serious. Ultimate Mind I took serious. All the Clark stuff I take very serious. Yeah, man, there's certain the Vinyl Villain album, I was very serious on that album. I had like a point to prove.
Yeah.
He didn't include me in the album he put out, and I submitted 2 songs. Both of those songs ended up on Emperor's Deity, but it kind of made me mad. And he was like, bro, it's not that they're not dope. He was like, it just kind of didn't fit the aesthetic. He's like, you're rapping super crazy on this shit. He's like, everything else is kind of flowing, and he's like, and then your songs are just like, and I was like, okay. So then I was like, well, send me some beats, bro. Like, let's just get one in. And he was like, all right, bro. He started sending all this dark ass shit, and I was like, and it was just a zone, you know what I mean? Like
you're like, I'm going to show him that I am motherfucking Supreme Cerebral.
I did. I had something to prove, and I like those feelings of having something to prove. I felt like with Clark's 3 that's gonna come out in the summertime. I was definitely rhyming like I had something to prove.
That's good.
Definitely on that. And this new Clipto shit that I've been working on. I like rhyming on Clipto beats, anyways.
Yeah.
So always fun. I like putting those compilations together with him. Fuck, we should have did another album. So the Loop 1 was supposed to be Master Builders 2. I got too many people on songs, and I was like, we can't do it like that. I can't have an album with everything being features. Like, we have to make a compilation. So that's how that came about. The second one was a conscious effort to make it a compilation. I think the second one came out real nice. This third one is a West Coast compilation. So it's only going to be West Coast rappers.
Yeah.
Mostly Cali rappers.
Yeah.
So it's different. But I'm rapping like Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? Like I'm going crazy. I just have I've been in the mood, I guess you could say, to act on a rap. And like the end of last year, I did not have that mood. I was very like, I don't want to rap, dog. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. I burn myself out sometimes, and then I'll go months without rapping, like months.
Yeah, but that's almost like a period of time where you're like taking in books and movies and taking in life, and then you come back.
Yeah, I'll go hiking and go in the mountains and clear my mind completely.
That's dope.
That's my number one mental health. And I tell people that all the time. I go, the gym is cool. Don't get me wrong. I like the gym. I'm in the gym often. I mean, I bench 350 pounds, so I'm a big guy, you know what I mean? But that's not
6'5", 250. That means you're lean. That's muscle. Because at 250 for 6'5", you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, most guys, athletic guys my size are like 215, 220.
Yeah.
So, I got a little bit of size on me. But lifting weights didn't change my mental thinking. Going into the wilderness and getting lost and having a SOS on your phone.
That's dope.
Got my mental health right.
That's
not being able to get a text message or anything to deter what I'm doing at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, now I take my phone out and film like what we're doing because I want to show people we're in the snow and like we're way out in the mountains, and this is California. You know what I mean? It's an hour and a half away from where I live. So, but yeah, I just love doing that. I think the smelling the freshness in the air.
Yeah.
Feeling that cold, snowy breeze hit your skin.
Yeah.
And it's fresh. It's not city snow
Yeah.
wind. It's mountain air snow wind, like refreshing to the fullest. Smelling the trees, seeing the waterfalls, looking at the creek flow.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that is game changing. When your eyes get to see things in its natural habitat, how we're supposed to live, you become one again with Mother Earth. And I feel like that's where we get lost. And it makes me appreciate those people in the Amazon, the uncontacted, who will murder you the moment you come near them.
They don't want you. They don't want your ideas. They don't want your technology.
They don't want your ideologies. They don't want anything to do with you. They want to live off the land how they've been doing for millions of years.
Wow.
1,000 years. However long they've been.
We don't know. I'm not even going to question the millions of years because we know that we don't know.
Yeah. Right. The oldest living fossil that they found is Lucy in Africa. And I forget how old she was. She was a couple 100,000 years old or whatever. But yeah, I'm sure that there was humanoid creatures that, you know, had this world before we did. I mean, if you go back to the, you know, Sumerian shit and all that, you know, they said that there was a war, and that's why the dinosaurs were wiped out, because there's reptilian humanoids that.
Now this works its way into your lyrics often. In your lyrics, you're sprinkling in Egypt, Sumerians, Anunnaki. You're dropping knowledge.
Well, if you read the Book of Enoch, which is the Lost Bible, and the truth, I would say more than anything else that has to do with the Bible, you realize what it is, right? You realize that it was black people that were here. You realize the people that they speak of were really here. This is real stuff that they're talking about. They talk about the Anunnakis. They talk about the people in the sky. And I mean, you got to think too, as humans, we're not totally meant to be on this planet. And that's easily said because we burn in the sun. Some of us, not all of us.
Yeah.
The climate is not 100% meant for us. There's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of things that can kill you. You can't eat everything. The water's dangerous. I mean, it's just so many things. If you actually sit there and think about life itself, you realize that this probably isn't our main planet. This is somewhere where they were like, it's inhabitable, right? Like, oh, they'll be all right here. They're going to die fast, but they'll be all right here. You know what I mean? And their way of thinking was probably not like, oh, they're going to be these exceptionally conscious creatures. They probably didn't envision how fast we became what we became. And if you really start to pay attention, we're probably not even halfway near the technology and the intelligence of where Egypt was. And you know, people are like, oh, there's primitive slaves that built that, put the pyramids.
They don't know.
It doesn't make sense. That's exceptional.
They don't know. Yeah.
Exceptional machinery that's able to cut such precision, to understand there's hot springs underneath all the pyramids, to be aligned with the stars, right by a canal, a river you have water, you're able to bathe. They're the first people to bathe. Like they said, medieval times were the dirtiest people.
Yeah. The diseases.
It was a porta potty castle. That's basically what it was.
Wow.
So there's historians that say Egyptians had such advancement in everything.
Wow.
And we're such primitive creatures that you know that shit comes from somewhere else. if you're an intelligent human being, you automatically know that comes from somewhere else. That's intelligence that's been around for millions of years.
Yeah.
Everything they've given us, because we're primitive creatures, bro. So if you
Yeah.
go on, there's no technology, there's no TV. They didn't build a TV. They didn't build an airplane. They haven't even probably thought, when they see the Cessnas fly by every once in a while, that shit is probably like, they're probably like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Imagine what they think that is.
Yeah.
A giant bird or a pterodactyl. Who knows what they envision that to be? Because they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're not building that. They're not even on that type of time. So that lets you know automatically what we would be on if we were to remain primitive creatures. We would be savage.
Yeah.
You know? Cannibals, savages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'd live on land. You know what I mean? But we would also be incredibly hardened. You'd be able to live in the jungle. You throw a regular ass human being right now in the middle of the Amazon, he's dying within 2 days.
Oh, absolutely.
His whole body will be consumed within 3 days.
Yeah.
The ecosystem out there will eat him alive. The creatures out there on the ground, the creatures in the sky, he'll be eaten alive in seconds. Bones, teeth, everything disintegrated. It's like feeding it to the pigs. Be disintegrated. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy to think about. You know what I mean? Like, the advancements of our people have to be extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Right? And through evolution of having technology being embedded into our DNAs and our brains, then we start having children that are incredibly smart.
Yeah.
All children now that are being born are automatically savvy to computer technology.
Right.
Naturally. Right? And that's kind of creepy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like a 2-year-old knows how to operate a phone already. You know?
Absolutely.
It's crazy to think about, like, all this stuff, because it's real. You know what I mean? Like, we were given everything. Our primitives, we're primitive creatures. Human beings are the most primitive creatures. We'd be like gorillas.
Yeah.
Except a little bit more smarter because we're hunter-gatherers. You know what I mean? So we would build bow and arrows and spears and things out of bamboo, and we would utilize everything that's around it. There's no rocks in the Amazon. So you got to think these guys are making arrows out of bamboo, sharpening to a point of where it's like steel. And their advancement in building arrows is, they have 6-foot arrows. These guys in the Amazon, they have 6-foot arrows, right? And they're shooting you, and their back muscles, because people have taken pictures of them, like, from distances. Their back muscles, incredible. All these guys are like 6'5", 263. They're Amazon people. They're Brazilian Amazonian people, or Peruvian Amazonian people. You know what I mean? That the Amazon covers that whole area. Colombia, that whole entire area. Brazil has most of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like, we were given technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that whole, I love talking about all of that, because mainstream history and what the people have accepted, as this is the story of humanity.
Oh yeah.
It's got gaps, and things don't add up once you start looking at things critically.
We're in the information age, so it's not hard to start to gather information. Mind you, there's a lot of conspiracy mixed in with what you're going to get is real information.
Yeah.
So it's your, I guess, personal choice to decipher it how you decipher it. Everybody has opinions, different ways they feel. You know what I mean? But they don't teach us things purposely. Besides all that incredible knowledge on purpose, because that explains when aliens were giving us knowledge, who was here first. They have that whole library in the Vatican has everything. Why you think you can't get nowhere near it? It's hidden technology from the times of which were the golden age of humanity, which was probably the Egyptian peaks, right? So yeah, see, all of this stuff that I accumulate, I put into street knowledge. So that's why it's fun to, you have to be a smart person, bro, to really write intriguing raps.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to be somewhat of a intelligent. There's dudes that who only do street shit, right? Don't really talk about nothing else.
Yeah.
But they're real crafty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for me, you know, being born God, like I have to spread knowledge as much spread, I would say, negativity. I would call it duality. I don't even think negativity. I think it's reality. Talking about guns, drugs, murders. I mean, if you live in a place where that happens, it's reality for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
it's all around you. You can't help but to, you know, incorporate what you're seeing.
At the same time, you have to have duality. You have to have a yin and a yang. You have to have a good and a bad. You have to be able to speak knowledgeable information can resonate well in a way that you can get it off in your raps, right? So you're educating people through rapping. And I mean, Nas did that. You know, Coogee Rap did that. Big Daddy Kane, Rakim did that exceptionally well.
Absolutely.
So I take all of that. Like those are my, you know, those are the guys who made this culture and made us who we are. Like I hate people that don't pay homage and don't respect the architects of what we have here.
Lyrically, that's what they did, because the MC used to, you know, hype the party, right? But then when you get people like Rakim coming in, they were the Anunnakis of this shit. You know what I mean? Where they basically changed the way that you connect words to tell a story that reflects knowledge and the reality that you see outside.
Right. So they were giving you knowledgeable street raps. And that from them becoming 5%ers and then them being in the streets in the 80s in New York, which was nuts. So
80s New York is different from New York right now.
1,000%. So you have such a harsh, crazy reality, and then you have such an amazing, vast knowledge, right? You have this amazing knowledge, and you put it together, and then you have the greatest MCs. You have some of the greatest MCs to ever live, and that's what, you know, a lot of us do that are in this new renaissance. You know, like you could tell there's a lot of dudes that probably weren't outside that much, and they're really, really into hip hop, right? Like they're good at putting words together. They're just, you know, you're like, damn, this motherfucker's nice. And then there's dudes where you're like, you could tell he was outside. You could tell where he's from. You know the kind of situation he's been in. But you're also like, this motherfucker's smart as fuck, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So, and there's a lot of people, you know, self-educated.
Absolutely.
You
gotta be. After a certain point, you gotta be.
Yeah, you can only gain so much from the public school system. And I don't know too many of us that rap that have been in the private school system.
That's true.
So, and I mean, my nephew's in a private school, and
it's not a knock. I want my kids to be in private school. It's not a knock.
My nephew's in a private school, but the kinds of things that they're teaching him are going to translate into the real world. The kind of shit that I learned in school, it didn't translate to anything except mathematics and science. That's basically the only two things that can translate into the real world. But even with science, if you're not trying to be a marine biologist, a chemist, or anything like that, like the science isn't going to translate into your life. You're not going to deal with complex compound elements and put them together. So really, at the end of the day, what becomes the only thing that's valuable to you? Mathematics. You know, and then fuck, all you really got to do is learn how to add and subtract, bro. You don't necessarily need to divide and fractions and
statistics and algebra and all of that. You don't really use it in real life.
You don't really need it. We got calculators and everything. You need to learn how to count money. You learn how to subtract and add, right? Like two things you need to learn most when you get older. How to subtract. You know what I mean? That way you know how you can subtract and how much money you're adding. You know what I mean? So you can live. So you can
live a little multiplication, a little bit of percentages, and you're good to go.
So you can live maintain a suitable life, right? So fucking, like I said, that's the only thing that translates. I mean, because reading, they're not teaching you to read anything that's gonna get you anywhere. The history classes aren't teaching you shit about history. I read my nephew's history book and I just laughed at it. I was like, this isn't true. And
right?
And my nephew's black. Well, he's got white in him, but he's a darker skinned human, and and he looks at me, and he's like, well, if they were black, how come they get painted white in the books? And I said, it's a white man that paints them white in the books. And he goes, this is the funniest shit he ever said. He goes, but you're white. And I said, no, it's a misconception. I have white skin, nephew. I'm not a white human. And then he looked, and I said, you're black. What do you think I am, fam? And he looked at me like with the craziest shit. Like, he was like, what the fuck does that even mean, right? Like, what the fuck? And this little man is fucking, oh man, he's an absolute genius.
Yeah.
He's been incredibly advanced since he was little. He's skipping grades and all that shit. He's one of those kids. So like he has intelligent conversations with me, but I have to explain to him like black people are only people in the world that can create a white person. Besides, like they're the only ethnic group of people. Excuse me, I worded that wrong. The only ethnic group of people that can albino. It's a white person.
Yeah.
So that's the creation of all, right? The black woman is the creation of all.
That's good.
So that's more understanding if you start to look in things deeper, right? So I'm telling him all this shit, right? And he's just looking at me like, oh man.
You're dropping heavy knowledge on him.
Unc is a wild human being, right? So, but he loves me. Like last time he was out here last year, we went to Disneyland. You see, this is how I know this kid's not normal, right? Most kids, they want to fuck around, right? Yeah. Jump around, act wild, do dumbass, weird shit, make noise, and da-da-da-da-da-da. The whole time we're in lines, bro, for these rides, I have to give him words to spell. And he's spelling some of these words correctly, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I know you've never fucking seen that word before.
How do you
know? Like, your little 9-year-old mind has not seen that word before, and he's getting it right. And I was just blown away by that kid, man. He's like, that's my soulmate, man. If there's one in this world that's like I'm the closest to, that's my man's right there.
That's dope. That's beautiful.
And he's such a sponge. So I'm able to let him get that weird knowledge that he's getting at school, and then school him and be like, nah, this is what's real.
Yeah.
And then when he's such a smart kid, he asked, well, why are they teaching me that stuff? I said, they have a curriculum, kid. I said, they have to teach you that kind of stuff. I said, that comes from the higher powers.
That's approved.
Not wanting you to know everything.
That's good.
Putting you in the dark already. You know what I mean? I said, but the thing is, you got an uncle that's already in the light, so you're going to get all the light you can get. That makes him,
yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's I can't wait to go see him again. He's in Utah with my niece. It's actually my great nephew. Yeah, wild. It's wild out there too. I got arrested out there. It's not a place for black people. I tell you that.
Don't go to Utah.
Don't go to
Utah. So as we start to wrap, I want to make sure that I ask a couple of questions that people are super interested in knowing. You've had the opportunity of working with a who's who in hip hop. You truly have. Artists like Planet Asia, Chino XL, Ghostface, Hus Kingpen, Ill Conscious, Spit Gemz. We could go on and on and on. It's a who's who in hip hop. Is there somebody that comes to mind that maybe you haven't had a chance to work with, that if you did have a chance, they'd be at the top of the list?
Oh yeah, it's easy, man. Like Nas, AZ, anything like that, I would jump at the opportunity, and I would probably take the longest I've ever taken to write a rap.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably them. In the underground scene that we're in now, is there anybody that I can think of? Rock would be fun to spar with.
Yeah.
He'd probably kill me, but it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Shit, I can't really think of anybody else.
Well, he's made it so high up in this underground game. I mean, He
Right,
drop
right,
a sweatshirt and sell out like right now. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like he just print
So
money
will,
whenever he wants.
yeah, so will Gun and those dudes. I think I like rock sound better than I like the Griselda sound.
Yeah.
I got nothing against those guys are incredible. I just try to differentiate myself from that type of sound.
Yeah.
Just completely because I don't want to get put in a box
Yeah.
of trying to brothers like everybody else
Yeah.
does. I make a conscious effort, if you pay attention to my music, to not sound anything like a Griselda song or anything like that. I can't even use my affinity and love for wrestling because you put anything wrestling, you're a biter.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean. So I I started doing UFC fighters,
That's good.
naming my songs after UFC fighters. No one's done that. So anybody that does that, you got
You
that.
did it first.
You got that from me.
Yeah.
I've got yeah, I got all that. Mirko Cro Cop. I got to
That's
do. I
dope.
might John Jones EP. I was thinking about it. Yeah, man. I like mixed martial arts, boxing.
Yeah.
I'm a combat sport kind of guy. Not a. I was a big wrestling fan when I was little. I can name 100,000
Yeah, me
wrestlers.
too. Like that era, the NWA, early WWF. Like that is the
Like with Sting and Flair and
Dusty Rhodes.
Paul and Nash.
Woo.
Oh, Dusty Rose is one of my favorites. That's the the Cajun man right there.
Yeah.
He's one of the best shit talkers. Him and Flair, man,
That
you got to
was
think
it.
about
That was the whole. That's never been done again.
that's their rivalry is unmatched. It was like two flamboyant dudes talking shit to each other. Like
Absolutely.
it's classic, right?
That's
But
the
like
best.
we have finicky fans now, and fans want to put you in a box, or they want to say you're biting, and they want to say all that dumbass shit.
Yeah.
Like you can't be creative no more, and somebody's already done it, then you're biting. Like, do you know how many fucking rhymes have been recycled by
Yeah.
motherfuckers? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, as a creative and as a prolific creative, you know what I'm saying?
MCs
Ideas are gonna surface.
do you know how many MCs have said kick it like judo? Do you understand
Yeah. Exactly.
and you don't even kick in judo? So yeah, like like it's subjective, bro. But like fans nowadays be weird, you know what I mean? And attack you online and talk all that weenie shit behind a keyboard and do all weirdo shit, you know what I mean? So I kind of just try to steer away from that. I would definitely do songs with those guys, but I kind of just try to stay away from that. So I would probably more than anybody. Who else have I not worked with? I've worked with a lot of motherfuckers.
You really have, man. You really have worked with a lot of incredibly talented individuals.
I worked with most of the Umbrella already. I can't even think of a human right now. Oh, maybe what's that kid's name? He's nice. Vega the Ronin.
Yeah.
Like him. He's nice.
Dope.
I'd like to do something with him. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I've done shit with everybody.
We need new talent. We need new talent to come in.
Yeah.
And then the last question that I think is kind of a fun question. You've had the opportunity to be on so many different shows, Top Shelf Premium, Sirius Radio, right? XM Sirius, and anybody who's in this hip hop space knows who you are, knows your material. What show, what type of platform that you have not had a chance to be on yet would it be dope to be on?
Haven't been on Sway in the Morning, which I really want to go up there and do the 5 Fingers of Death. I think that would be amazing because I have 5 verses that I think could be really, really something special.
That's dope.
I would like to be on Show Off too with Static.
Yeah.
I don't know why he don't play my music. I don't have any contact with him. Like I fuck with Term, but I don't really have contact with Static. So
it'll happen.
That's another thing I would like to see my face or my name on his playlist. The Rosenberg shit too. I gotta get my shit. Cause Top Shelf, Mark was telling me you gotta have the radio edits.
Got it.
for the Rosenberg show because it's on Hot 97.
Got it.
I haven't done that yet with any of my albums, so I need to get on that. That's probably one that I can make happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. The Sway one I can make happen too. I had talked with his team before, so I might try to make that happen. Oh, the Punchline Academy with Amadeus.
That's good.
I'm gonna do that this year. I don't know when, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that, and I got some shit for that. I'm gonna say some shit. I like to showcase those showcases where you rhyme because then I think people really get to see rhyme. They're like, oh, he really raps. Yeah. Like, oh shit, he really does rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not just like in the studio.
Like the Top Shelf Premium, I didn't even know I was gonna do it that day. He didn't tell me I was gonna do it that day. I went over there to just check him like I always do, see if he got any vintage polo. He was doing some people, I forget their names. He was doing some producers, some of his producer showcase.
Yeah.
And then he goes, Preem, you want to knock it out? And I'm like, huh? He's like, you got a beat? I'm like, no. He's like, you think you can find one? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't even got no raps ready for this shit, bro.
You came correct. I almost used the Top Shelf as one of the promos for this because you came correct.
Yeah, and that was one take. And I was sitting outside with Banish outside like while the producers were doing their showcase. So I had about 45 minutes to an hour to like piece together what I wanted to say.
Wow.
Then I had a one-off verse. The beginning of that shit is a one-off verse. Like I just had that shit. It was on some random ass beat. I had memorized it. So I was like, I'm gonna use that, and then the other one, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta say this. You know, Sumerian overlord in the time before religion was born. You know what I mean? Like I had that in my head. Like, I gotta say this. So yeah, like I pieced them together. He was. And
made a classic moment.
He was like, yo, you ready? I looked at the camera guy. I said, how many people have done this in one take? And he looked at me. He goes, maybe one. And I'm like, word. Just like that. I was like, word. Went up there. I was like, I'm sitting there. Just went in. Boom. Because if you watch the beginning, I'm kind of just rapping. It took me a minute to be like, I need to get into this.
Right.
Yeah. Like it took me a minute. Like, you know, sense of nervousness always, you know, always have a sense of nervousness and like, I got to perform well. So I had that at the beginning. Like I could see it. Other people don't really see it, but I could see it because it's me. And, but yeah, like it came out so dope. And I was just like, damn, bro. Dope. And then they were looking at me like, yo, you did that shit in one fucking take?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple of different things I'd like to get on that I know I'm gonna manifest. Mainly shows, man. I would love to go to Europe.
Yeah.
I got a lot of fans in Romania, yo, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And the part of Romania, I Googled it because I looked at my statistics and I was like, oh, let me see where this is at. And then I Googled the area and I was like, oh, it's like I had a high crime rate. It's like a little ghetto area of Romania. I was like, okay.
Yeah, all right. I'll pop it out there.
I was like, oh shit, they probably riding around in my shit, fucking hurting people. I was like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like I think about shit like that all the time. I'm like, these motherfuckers ride around to this shit, like wanting to hurt people. Cause I can remember when I was young, riding with certain groups of people and they be bumping Brother Lynch and gangster music, like, you know, The Chronic and like Sally Seth, gangster ass shit, you know what I mean? And I used to be like, and they used to go ride on people, you know what I mean? So I think of like, are they riding out?
Right, are they riding on people in Romania, bumping my joint?
Like are they stabbing people with my music? Like this is crazy to think about, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I'm gonna manifest. I would say I'm going to Europe. Definitely gonna go to Japan. Those are the two main things. Maybe like you know, South America.
That'd be good, man. That'd be good. Really, so my brother, as we wrap, you have a new album dropping on the 15th of this month. Royal Council, ready to go. CDs in hand, vinyl ready, everything ready to go. You just dropped Loose Change 2 in December. It's a classic album already. Your career already, your catalog is insane. And this year you're going to be adding to it. And it's an honor to have you on the show, my bro, and we'll run it back. Because you got so much material coming out. We're going to have to talk about some of these new albums.
Yeah. I got an album with Swab called Son of Hannibal. Swab out of Denmark. I got Clark's 3 with Kush and Clipto. I can't wait to drop that, man. That thing is beautiful. And then I got an album with Macapella from Scotland.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm gonna be busy. And then shit, I don't know. You never know what could happen. If I finish this Clipto album, I don't think I'll finish it. Reading on people to rap on your stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I get those features, though, that's another album. You know what I mean? So I got so much material, bro. I got a bunch of Lucy's too, like a bunch of just one-offs, you know what I mean?
That's dope, my brother.
Yeah, man, I got a lot, man, and it's not gonna stop unless something, God forbid, something happens. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, it's not gonna stop, man, until I get tired of doing it. I guess you know what I mean. I just I get inspired and I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah.
That inspires me to keep doing it.
Dope, my brother.
So
it's been an honor having you on the show, my fellow Polo brother. You've been dropping classic material, and we'll catch each other soon on the re-up.
I really appreciate you, man. I thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Build with you soon.
Peace.
Peace.